Hiya, I hope you're keeping well. In keeping with my most asked questions of 2021, today I'm going to go through some eyeshadow tips, in particular when it comes to making your eye colour look a bit brighter, so I hope you enjoy. As always, everything I've used in this video is listed in the description, so if you click to make the video full screen, the title will come up along the top, click the arrow next to it and a full list of everything will drop down. Okay, it was really dark this morning when I started to film this. I've already done one step and then I put the light on to brighten it up a bit, so I'm just going to catch you up. All I've done so far is taken a matte colour through the sockets of the eyes. What I want to show you today is ultimately where I would really recommend that you put matte colours versus shimmer colours, so that you get all of the kind of depth and definition that you want from your smoky eyes, but that it wears really nicely as the evening goes on. One of the things that I've tried to always say in these videos, it's a real passion point for me, is to remind you that I feel like there's so many misconceptions about makeup and these rules that we've been trained to know. Like, for example, a lot of people will say to me, oh, but you know, I've been told you can't wear loads of eyeshadow and a bright lipstick. Of course you can. You should wear whatever makes you feel good. There's no rules. That said, if you do particularly want to brighten, let's say, your eye colour, if you go for those kind of traditional colour theory methods, let's say my blue eyes, I could use like coppers and bronze and orange colours to really make them pop. So today, I'm actually going to use, it's funny, I always say that about have a look at a colour wheel, see what your complementary colours are and use those if you want to brighten your eyes. And I met Aimee Connolly in the flesh for the first time this week. Amy's a brilliant makeup artist in Ireland, if you don't follow her already. She's so lovely and she's got a brilliant brand, Sculpted by Aimee, which ultimately is like, you get really lovely luxury glam makeup results from it, but it's not difficult to use. So anyway, she was showing me this new palette that she's just brought out, and she's essentially given you colours for each eye colour to make them pop in matte and shimmer shades, so that you can kind of create a look that's as soft as you like or as glamorous as you like. And I'm going to use these plum colours today. So to start, what I had already done was taken that first matte colour just through the socket of the eye. Now, if you want to make your eye colour your eye shape, look a bit bigger, feel free to go above those natural lines to give the illusion of a more lifted eye look. Now, I'm going to take that same shade and just kind of really gently join that crease to the corner of the eye and let it kind of overlap with the bottom of the eye, because ultimately I want this to kind of curve around the eye. Now, I've purposefully kept the fluffy brush to do this, because instead of like having a really harsh line here, I want this to be more of a blurred wash of colour for now. Okay, while I'm here, before I do anything else, I've got a little bit of Becca Champagne Pop. I'm just going to highlight the inner corners of the eyes. This is the highlighter I used on my complexion, and so it's just going to pull together, you know, the brow bones, cheeks, everything when the whole look is on. Now then, with a much smaller brush, I'm going to start taking this deeper plum under the lash line, not all the way across, just in the outer corners, and essentially under here, above here, and through these corners for a minute. Okay, just to point out, they're not completely even. Really, it's this outer corner that we're going to see the most of when I put my next step on. So even though this side is a good bit bigger, please don't worry. We're going to put some shimmer over that in a minute, and that is one of my top tips I can give you. Any problems or you run into any difficulty, you're struggling to blend, a bit of shimmer or glitter on top, it just works wonders. I'll show you in a moment. But before I do that, I now want to take this colour just ever so slightly through these corners, and I'm going to do this gently and really buff it out. And again, this isn't even, but I always like to make a point of keeping things in like this that aren't even, because like no one gets it perfect every single time. I certainly don't. But you can see now already a few tweaks have made it look a bit more even. And don't worry if you have that moment where you're like, oh, I've ruined it. Just be patient. You can always balance it out. It will end up being fine. I'm actually going to take a separate clean brush and very gently flick this colour through the socket. I want to, rather than rubbing it back and forth, I want to make sure I'm gently tickling it inwards. That's actually a bit sharper than I would like, but let me balance them out and then we'll talk about how to soften it ever so slightly. Right, do you see how I mean about how that's quite sharp? I want to go back to my original really fluffy brush, and that softer brown, you might not want to do this, but I'm just going to soften that edge a bit so that it's all a bit more blurred than like, you know. Even that for me has just taken the edge off a bit. Okay, this might be a bit controversial now. I actually think that the lighter colour looks really nice there, but I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to go in with that lovely deep plum. The first thing I'm going to do, on that same pencil brush that I used the darker purple, I'm going to put some of that shimmer on the inner corners of these eyes. I'm not going all the way in because I've got that highlighter. I said inner corners, sorry. I meant like in a third of the lower lash line. I've got my highlighter on the very inner corners. This makeup, by the way, if you're new or I haven't mentioned this to you in a video before, I first learned makeup at Peaches and Cream in Liverpool like 10 years ago. I used to work there while I was at uni, and this is like the classic Kate and Nick techniques. So if you like the look of this, you definitely need to get yourself to Peaches, because this is like me trying to remember from the two of those who are like the best technique makeup, glam makeup you'll ever have in your life. Now back to this plum. I'm going to take a flat brush, this is a Peaches brush as well actually, and just really gently press this over the lid. Okay, another thing I need to show you before you start spending time with all your friends and family at Christmas. If you get any drop down like I've done there, see I've got some purple there, haven't I? First thing, use a clean dry brush to get rid of it. Second of all, we'll probably have to go over that with a bit more makeup. Third of all, lose the eyeshadow brushes. Just go in with your finger instead. And then while I'm here, I'll just show you the easiest way, in my opinion, to solve that is to go over it. I've just literally got the tiniest brush here with the same CC cream that I used to do my makeup. Because I've got on CC cream, bronzer, blusher, highlighter, if I were to then wipe that off, it's just going to ruin the whole thing. My opinion, just go over it. Again, I've said this in a few of my videos, I'm a more is more person. Like I know that's a lot of makeup, I'm layering a lot of makeup on, but like this kind of makeup, you're probably going on a night out. You don't care if you've got a nice hearty dose of makeup on, that's probably the look that you're going for. Okay, I'm going in with the purple on the other side. This time just using my ring finger to really densely pack that on to avoid any drop down this time. Okay, devil's advocate here. This is enough makeup for you. We're going to finish with our mascara. One of the things that I'd really recommend you to have a look at if you find that your mascara prints above or below your lash line is tubing mascara. So traditional mascara covers your lashes in pigment, and then, you know, that's what can sometimes print above or below the lashes. Tubing mascara wraps the lash in a rubbery polymer. It crumbles away just with warm water to remove it, and it will not print. Several people do these. Clinique Lash Power is a great one. Urban Decay Lash Freak in the green tube is one. Victoria Beckham Future Lash is probably my most used. That's one of my most used products of this year actually. So I'm going to go in with some of this. That to me feels really glam. I feel like the plum has really brought out my eyes. I really like the eyeshadows. Let's just say you wanted to go a little step further. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you can do to elevate this even further into like a really glam night out makeup. If you only did one thing, I can't emphasise how much a kohl pencil can really make your makeup look more dramatic. I went in with a soft glitter. This was Moonlight from Peaches and Cream, but it wasn't powerful enough, so I ended up topping it up with Fantasy glitter to really bring out the pink of that eyeshadow. Then I would tell you, if you're thinking of doing any lashes, go over your mascara again because the glitter probably got on it, and then do a liquid liner. Not only will this make your eyes look a bit more dramatic, but also that liquid liner kind of gives you a little path to follow to stick your lashes to. And then if your lashes aren't 100% even, it won't matter because the liner will kind of disguise the join. Get some 3/4 length lashes for the most soft, natural look. Look at that, it was 4 more steps, really quick and simple, but it makes a big difference to your overall makeup. And I'd say as well, things like liquid liner and lashes, they can make a really big difference to your photos. So if it's a special occasion, someone's wedding, birthday, Christmas Eve, whatever it is, just throw them on. It's going to take you a couple more minutes, but then those photos are going to look 10 times more glam. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, please feel free to let me know if there's anything else in particular you'd like to see in a video and I'll work on it. But I'll talk to you soon and have a lovely rest of your evening.